You know, there's nothing quite as painful as feeling like your own children don't respect you. After all the love, the sacrifices, the late nights, and the years of guidance, it can feel like a knife to the heart when they dismiss you, talk over you, or make you feel like your opinions don't matter anymore. Maybe you've even caught yourself thinking, where did I go wrong? Or why don't they value me the way they used to? If that's where you are right now, I want you to know something important. This isn't about your worth. You are just as deserving of respect today as you've ever been. But sometimes, life changes, relationships shift, and without even realizing it, we fall into patterns that make it easier for others to take us for granted. The good news? You can turn this around. You can rebuild that respect, not by demanding it, but by embodying it in a way that naturally draws people toward honoring you again. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 powerful ways to regain the respect of your children or anyone else who may have started treating you as less than you deserve. These aren't quick fixes or manipulative tricks. They're real, time-tested principles that help you stand firm in your value while fostering healthier, more loving relationships. So let's start with the first step: stop chasing their approval. It's human nature to want our children to love and admire us. But when we constantly seek their validation, always bending over backward to please them, never disagreeing, or swallowing our true feelings just to keep the peace, we accidentally teach them that our self-worth depends on their reactions. And over time, that can erode respect. Think about it. If you don't treat your own thoughts and boundaries as important, why would they? Now, this doesn't mean you become cold or distant. It simply means you start showing up as a complete person, someone with opinions, needs, and dignity. For example, if your grown child brushes off your advice, instead of saying, "Oh, never mind, you're probably right," try calmly standing by your perspective. "I understand you see it differently, but this is what I've learned from experience." No arguing, no pleading, just quiet confidence. You might be surprised how differently they respond when they see you respecting yourself. And that leads us to the second key: set clear boundaries and hold to them gently but firmly. Many of us were raised to believe that being a good parent means always being available, always saying yes, always putting our children's needs before our own. But here's the truth: boundaries aren't selfish. They're necessary for any healthy relationship, even with your kids. Let me give you an example. Suppose your adult child frequently calls you late at night to vent about their problems, leaving you exhausted the next day. You want to be there for them, but you also need your rest. Instead of silently resenting it or snapping in frustration, you could say something like, "I love talking to you, but after 9 p.m., I need to unwind. Let's catch up earlier tomorrow." At first, they might push back or even act hurt. But when they see you mean what you say, without anger or guilt, they'll start to adjust. And more importantly, they'll begin to recognize that your time and energy have value. Now, these first 2 steps are about reclaiming your own sense of worth. But there's another crucial piece to this puzzle, one that often gets overlooked. And that's where we'll pick things up next. Because respect isn't just about how you hold yourself, it's also about the space you create for the relationship to grow in new ways. You've probably heard the saying, respect is earned, not given. But here's what that really means: it's not about proving your worth over and over. It's about showing up in a way that inspires respect naturally. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is by focusing on the present, not just the past. Now, I know what you might be thinking: after all I've done for them, shouldn't that be enough? And you're right, it should be. But here's the hard truth: if your relationship with your children is stuck in a cycle where you're constantly reminding them of everything you've sacrificed, it can accidentally create resentment instead of reverence. They may start to feel like you're holding the past over their heads, and that can push them further away. So how do you shift this? Start by building respect today, not through what you did years ago, but through how you engage with them now. For instance, instead of saying, "I worked 2 jobs to put you through school, and this is how you treat me," try something like, "I'd really love it if we could talk about this when we're both calmer." That simple change takes you out of the role of the martyr and into the role of a wise, grounded parent, one they can still learn from. And that brings us to our next step: listen more than you lecture. I know, you've got decades of wisdom to share. And your kids should want to hear it. But here's the thing, respect is a two-way street. If they feel like every conversation turns into a one-sided sermon, they'll start tuning you out. Instead, try asking questions first. If your son or daughter is making a decision you disagree with, before jumping in with advice, say, "What's your thought process on this?" or "Help me understand why you feel this is the best move." When they feel heard, they'll be far more likely to ask for your perspective and actually value it when you give it. And over time, that creates a dynamic where your words carry weight again because they know you're not just talking at them, you're engaging with them. Now, let's talk about something that might feel uncomfortable but is absolutely vital. Stop enabling disrespect, even unintentionally. Sometimes, out of love, or maybe just to avoid conflict, we let little slights slide. A sarcastic comment here, an ignored phone call there. We tell ourselves, "Oh, they didn't mean it," or "They're just stressed." But every time we do that, we're silently giving them permission to keep treating us that way. I'm not saying you should scold them like they're children. Instead, address it calmly in the moment. If your daughter cuts you off mid-sentence, try a gentle but firm, "I wasn't finished speaking." If your son promises to visit but keeps canceling, say, "When you don't show up, it hurts." Let's plan something you can actually commit to. Will it feel awkward? Maybe at first. But when you stop brushing off those small moments of disrespect, you send a clear message: "I value myself too much to let this go." And that's when real change begins. Now, we've covered some tough but transformative steps here: releasing the past, listening deeply, and holding your ground. But there's one more game-changing shift that can redefine how your children see you, and it all starts with how you see yourself. And that's exactly where we'll go next. You know, one of the biggest mistakes we make as parents, especially as we get older, is believing our role in our children's lives should stay exactly the same as it was when they were small. We keep waiting for them to need us the way they once did, to seek our guidance like they did at 10 or 15. But here's the truth: the most respected parents aren't the ones clinging to old roles, they're the ones who evolve alongside their children. This brings us to our fifth powerful step: rediscover your own purpose beyond parenting. Think about it. When your entire identity revolves around being mom or dad, your children start seeing you only through that lens. And if they're grown now, they may unconsciously treat you as someone whose best years are behind them. But when they see you pursuing hobbies, learning new skills, or even just showing genuine curiosity about the world, something shifts. Suddenly, you're not just their parent, you're an interesting, multidimensional person worthy of admiration. Maybe you've always wanted to paint, or maybe you've been curious about those podcasts your grandson listens to. Whatever it is, lean into it. The next time your child calls, instead of just asking about their life, share something you're excited about too. "I've been listening to this fascinating history podcast. It's making me see things so differently." That simple shift shows them you're still growing, still vibrant. And that commands respect. Now, let's talk about the final, and perhaps most healing, step: choose forgiveness, but on your own terms. Holding on to resentment over past disrespect is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to get sick. It weighs you down far more than it affects them. But forgiveness doesn't mean pretending the hurt never happened or letting them off the hook entirely. It means freeing yourself from the bitterness while still maintaining your boundaries. Here's how this might look. If there's been a painful rift, you might say, "I don't want to keep reliving the past. I love you, and I'm choosing to move forward," but moving forward means we both commit to treating each other with more care. That's not weakness, it's strength. And often, when adult children see their parent rise above pettiness with grace, they can't help but meet that standard. Now, let's take a moment to tie this all together. Regaining respect isn't about controlling how your children act. It's about how you show up in the relationship. It's about valuing yourself enough to stop chasing approval, setting boundaries with love, engaging with who they are now, not just who they were, listening as much as you speak, refusing to let small disrespects slide, reinventing yourself beyond parenthood, and choosing forgiveness without forgetting your worth. This isn't a magic formula that will change everything overnight. But day by day, as you practice these steps, You'll start noticing subtle shifts, a little more consideration in their tone, a little more eagerness to include you, a little more pride in their eyes when they introduce you. And if you're watching this thinking, but my situation is different, it's gone too far, I want to leave you with this: it's never too late to plant new seeds. Some relationships may take longer to bloom again, but every step you take towards self-respect is a step toward changing the dynamic. So tell me in the comments, which of these steps resonates most with you? Have you tried any of them before? Your stories and wisdom might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear today. And if this video helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Because here's the truth: you deserve to feel valued, honored, and respected at every stage of your life. And sometimes we all just need a little reminder of how powerful we still are. Here's to your strength, your wisdom, and the renewed respect that's already on its way. Until next time, keep standing tall. You've earned it.